Good morning and welcome to Yoga with Hal. It's now all the way into August, believe it or not. And I'd like to introduce Gil and Nancy, who will help us demonstrate. And in today's, we're going to be discussing the spine and the proper alignment of it, not rigid, not getting out measuring tapes, all of those different things you might do with PT, which are very essential, but looking inside and using the tools that we naturally have, because it's very important that we're able to pull away from the activity of the day, especially if we have an injury or an illness, and take a look at how the body is moving in space from the inside. So let's begin, as we always do, by coming into a comfortable, upright position. Let your shoulders relax. In fact, let's exaggerate. Draw the shoulders to the ears, and then with a deep exhalation, 2 more times. Then spread your fingers and toes, letting the extremities relax. Let your shoulders remain relaxed down, and close the eyes and draw the awareness inward. Find the flow of the breath. Inhale, pause. Exhale, pause. Inhale, pause. Exhale, pause. Each breath a little fuller, deeper, and more complete. And with the eyes still closed, gently let your chin lift, and then let your chin come down towards the chest, and let your head lift till you're looking up some, but not crimping the back of your neck. And then let the chin come down. A couple more times and let that movement become slow and steady and less until in the next time or two you're not moving at all. Bring your head back to where you think is level. And let your eyes behind the eyelids look straight out. And then slowly let your eyes open. And just compare, feel if that feels like your head is level. And from here, you can either close the eyes again or leave them gently open. But as you exhale, slowly let your head turn to one side, then back to the center, and to the other side, and back to the center. And without judging whether it's good or bad, as you keep turning from side to side, just notice the trajectory. If there are things like maybe you naturally are lifting your head as you turn to one side, maybe you're naturally letting your head turn and look down to the other side. Just observe, self-observation. And as you do it a couple more times, if the head is making movements out of a flat plane, see if you can level it out. And the next time you come to the side you started turning your head to, come in and stay. And very gently let your chin drop. And very gently let it come just level, the head level. 2 more times like that. And then slowly back to center at your own pace. And turn the head level to the other side. And 3 times let the chin look down. And then up to level. And look down. Level. 3rd time be the last. And then everything back to center. Good. Now move away from the back of the chair if you're leaning against it at all. And observe your spine. Just turn your awareness inward and notice if when you move away from the support, if you're letting your back round, or if you're leaning forward, or if you're leaning to one side or the other. In fact, you can let your trunk of your body move gently on your own, different directions, until you find the place where you feel that the spine is straight up and down, and it's easy to hold because it's in alignment, and all you're needing to do is work with the gravity and let the spine be aligned. It may look different if you see yourself in a mirror, which I'm not suggesting you run to a mirror right now, but that's why we tend not in this to use mirrors except occasionally, because we want people to learn to develop looking with the inner eye rather than looking at what other people are doing or constantly adjusting themselves without really feeling it inside. Now, interlock the hands. Try not to lose that feeling of the spine being erect. And as you exhale, press the palms out, move the shoulder blades apart. As you inhale, hands move towards the center of the chest, shoulder blades slide together. Move at your own pace. Good. Now this time, and as you inhale, roll your shoulders open, hitchhike your thumbs, let the arms turn. As you exhale, shoulder blades, and see if you can touch your fingertips. The fingernail side touching if you can. Very gentle. Be the last one. And release. Nice long shoulder rolls 3 or 4 times in one direction, and then reverse. Go back the other. Bring everything back to center. Now, imagine that your spine is like a string of pearls, and it's on a kind of a stretchy cord. And so that's how the spine should work. Well, during times as we age, or if there are injuries, or even just a lot of stress, some of that stretch of that, the analogy of the cord, we start losing some of that. And the discs start being compressed by the vertebrae. So every time we twist or bend, or even just when we're sitting, especially if you have some back injuries, think about that image of it being like a string of pearls, and your tailbone is tied to the earth and you're hooked to the sky, and gently let it from the inside, let those vertebrae lift, and there be freedom of movement of the discs and the vertebrae. Very gentle. It's like a kind of an internal mental decompression, like if you get physical therapy or chiropractic, they can help you to stretch that out. But you can also do a lot of it just by being aware and not letting yourself get into bad postural habits. So with that kind of gentle lift, from here, as you bring your arms up, and they don't have to come high, but feel that it opens and it allows your spine to lift. And as you exhale and you let the arms float down, try not to let yourself compress, but keep that same opening 2 or 3 more times. Now that you're very open as the arms come down, maintain that. And observe in your effort to open. One of my things is to start trying to lift with my head. So I have to remind myself to keep my head level. One more time, please. Good. And release any residual tensions, little shoulder rolling. And let everything kind of move around a bit. Adjust your legs. Find the place where you feel centered again. And then from here, with the length maintained and the distance gently between the vertebrae, as you exhale, start with the belly, not with your head, and gently twist to one side. The inhale back to center. Make sure that you don't lean into it or compress. And the next time that you come to the first side, you twist it too. Come in and stay for a few breaths. And let your spine lengthen. Very gently. And coming back to center. And to the other side when you're ready, and stay the same amount of time, the same breaths. And back to center when you're ready. Good. Stretch your spine up long, reestablish that, and release. Now, when you're sitting, try to sit comfortably with the legs square, 90 and 90. You may have to adjust the height by sitting up on a cushion, or possibly you may have to have something under your feet, but 90 and 90, very gentle. And then this happens a lot more with men, but the splaying, like the man splay kind of thing. But women do it too. And the thing that's bad about that, especially when you're seated, like with me who has a damaged sacrum, is if you sit like that too much, it torques the sacrum over some very important nerves, like the sciatic, which I'm sure everybody has heard of. And so what's a good practice, and rather than trying to do it today, leaving it up to everyone, is to get a belt or some kind of a firm cord, get your knees in line with your hip joints, wrap it around there so you can't splay, and just sit and feel what happens. Like for me, this is a lot of work right now. One of my yoga teachers, who was a world-famous expert, when he'd fly on airplanes, had to belt his legs because his natural thing was to splay so much that he had a deep sacral injury all his life, and he would be unable to stand up if he sat like that too long. And that's what brought him to yoga in part. So that's just a little experiment that you can work with. There are other exercises at some point I think we'll get around to introducing where you can push against it to strengthen some of the muscles, and then push inward against a ball, and that helps to open things up. But just try that. Try wrapping a belt of some kind around your legs, trying to maintain that alignment. And then take a moment and shake everything out. Kind of bounce it a little. Move your legs forward a bit. Once again, try not to splay. But as you exhale, draw the navel in. Come down over the legs any amount. Keep that image of lengthening your spine, stretching the pearls. Inhale, coming back up. 2 more times, in and out. And then come down and stay for a few breaths. And after you've held, release and come back up. Loosen everything up again. Good. And then let's come up to standing. So find your feet under your hip joints. Try to feel like the center of the foot's in line with the center of your hip joint. And bend your knees slightly, unlock them, I should say, not deeply bent. And just let yourself bounce up and down a little bit. And finding, this is really good for your back. You can do this lying on your back with your knees bent, kind of back and forth on the floor too. But if you're right in a chronic a stage of pain from some back injury, be very cautious with this. But some of these small movements and rocking movements can really help, especially if it's related to the sacrum. And then bring your weight comfortably to center. Find that string of pearls and spread them apart. And once again now from standing, reach gently, stretch the spine, and then let the arms float back down. 2 more times. And this time, if you can, interlock the hands over your head and gently press up. Now, if that hurts your wrists or shoulders in any way, unlock the hands and try not to hold your breath, but breathe fully and deeply. And then release. Good. Roll the shoulders. Find where you feel that you're balanced, left and right. Unlock the knees, and we're not going to come down all the way. I'd like everyone to make sure you keep your hands on your legs and lengthen your spine first, and exhale and come down just 45 degrees at most. Knees unlocked. Keep your spine long and come back up. And down to 45 degrees. And keep your eyes moving down. And back up. One more time. Good. Now, when we're bending forward, we have a tendency, it's built into us, to want to try and keep our eyes on the horizon. So often we'll get into the habit of doing something like that. Well, that immediately tightens your neck, it pulls on the shoulders, those muscles pull on other muscles, and basically it causes stress down the whole back because the head bone's connected to the neck bone, etc. And so what you want to do is imagine like you're looking straight forward and you're drawing a line so that when you come down, the head is still in line with the spine. So now we're going to come deeper into the forward bend if you can. Nice flat back, and imagine that line and keep that alignment. Neck should be completely relaxed as you're doing this. Work against any tendency to feel like you try to pull yourself up with your head. 2 more times, please, at your own pace. Make sure to keep your chin slightly tucked. And the next time that you come down and stay for a few breaths wherever you can. And as you stay, feel like each inhale you're lengthening your spine. The head is moving away from the spine by stretching the vertebrae. 3 or 4 nice full breaths like that. And then everyone bend your knees, put your hands on the legs, and physically push yourself up. And then roll the shoulders when you're done. And release. And let's come back to sitting. Once again, find that point at which it feels like you're upright. Look inside, gauge where you are, and close your eyes and let your awareness come in. Try to even out the shoulders. Breathe in, breathe out. Each breath becoming fuller, deeper, and more complete. And sometimes our thoughts just keep rushing around. So we have what they call mantras or affirmations. And so as you sit, move these thoughts with your breath. Breathing in stills the mind. Breathing out calms the body. Breathing in stills the mind. Breathing out calms the body. Breathe in, still mind. Breathe out, calm body. Breathe in, still mind. Breathe out, calm body. Still mind, calm body. Still mind, calm body. Still, calm. Still, calm. And just stay with that feeling for a bit. And slowly let your eyes open. Stretch in small movements any way you like. And thank you so much for joining. And we'll see you back here in a week or 2.